The symposium today is a great event. It's taken us a few months to put together. CAF has been working with Mark Sulway at the CAS Business School. We've been working with Big Society Capital and others to really bring together the latest thinking in the area of charity finance as well as social investment, and perhaps take a more creative look about what the challenges are, but also what are some of the new solutions that are emerging in the marketplace, partly to help fill this funding gap, but also to get people together and share ideas from different walks of life, because through that there's a huge amount of learning and of course fun to be had. So charities face a number of challenges at the moment. Obviously the press in the last 6 months has been particularly difficult, with issues arising around governance and fundraising and a number of other areas. But actually I think the root cause of a lot of these issues is around finance. Charities have excess demand for their services. Basically, the demand for those services is going up all the time, but their funding has not increased. In fact, in many places it's decreased, particularly from the government. So they have a big funding gap, and the question is, how are they going to fill that gap, and what sort of financing options are available to them? Charities need to diversify their funding streams, or at least explore the options, because otherwise they are in a very risky position. You certainly wouldn't see small businesses relying only on one donor or one fundraising mechanism. So I think they need to look at that from the point of view of managing risk and opening up more creatively to what's available in the marketplace. Because the good news is there are a number of options available from traditional grant making, which they are very aware of and which they become quite dependent on to some extent, but through to a whole number of other options, from fundraising platforms to unsecured lending through social investment, from bank lending, as well as, of course, donations from individual donors who are looking to get much more involved with the charity and looking for entrepreneurial opportunities for that. As well as from corporates, and corporates are also looking for collaborations with smaller charities that involve their employees, that involve the charities and other stakeholders, and really build a sort of collaborative structure over a number of years which benefits all those parties. So I don't think our funding options always need to come from external sources. I mean, it's a good place to start, and I really think that charities, particularly the small and medium-sized charities, although it's hard to find the time, I think it would be well worth looking at the different options like social investment that are available. But I think also a lot of exciting things are happening in terms of charities looking at their assets, looking at their beneficiaries, really looking at their strengths and trying to apply those in other areas, or at least think about who might also have an interest. A couple of good examples, without naming the specific charities, would be in the area of the ageing population, where a number of charities have thought, okay, we understand this particular market segment, they have a particular needs, they need a sensitive approach, they need a professional approach, and they've identified a number of partners that they trust, that their beneficiaries would trust, to help sell insurance products, travel products and so on that would be relevant to that particular audience. Another example might be a small charity perhaps in the homelessness area, which understands that its understanding of that market allows it to work with other providers, and so what it's doing now is selling these big boxes to help people move house, and the profits from the sale of those boxes goes to helping the homeless people that are their beneficiaries. I think that's a really good example of a creative approach. So how can they look for new revenue streams based on their strengths and match up those strengths with new market opportunities?